Thank you, gentlemen. First leg, it's John to throw first. Game on.
It is the asset Paul Nicholson, a former Players' Champion no less, sat alongside me, Dan Dawson. In the comms box for this one, it's the Highlander versus the Bronze Adonis for a place in the semis.
140.
Could you possibly get two nicer guys to battle it out for the last place in the semi-finals here in Maastricht? I don't think so.
99.
I don't know one person on this earth who doesn't like these guys.
Well, just digging through the stats
43.
leading up to this game, and it was astonishing when Steve Beaton was going up against Mensur Suljovic in the second round. Mensur, the number 3 seed. I was astounded to see that Steve Beaton had a record of played 7, won 7 against Mensur Suljovic. That Sumba game played 8, won 8, because he saw him off 6-3.
140.
Looked at the stats for this, and Steve Beaton has played John Henderson 6 times in his career, and he has won all 6 as he fires in a maximum to leave 85 for this opening leg.
So what you're saying, Dan, is if you're a Hendo fan, it's time to bite your fingernails.
Well, it's just a weird quirk of fate that Steve Beaton has come here this weekend, has run into 2 of the players he has the best records in darts against. And he takes out 85 on the ball for a 12-darter, looking to continue his dominance against Hendo.
Sometimes Steve Beaton tends to turn up when he genuinely wants something. Now, in the past, I would say that's usually because he's looking to get into a tournament. He wants to keep a streak going, like make it to the match play, the Grand Prix. They're safe. So what does he need?
100.
Does he want a new car? Has he got a space on the mantle for another trophy? Does he need another holiday to top up the time?
135.
Whatever he wants, it's going pretty well so far.
Well, we've said this many, many times that winning leads to winning. And if you do get on a roll, you know, 1 title can turn into 2 titles, can turn into more. And Steve Beaton,
140.
he's only won 3 PDC titles despite being around forever. And they've come in a sort of smattering, you know, it's the first title for 4 years, that recent one. However, maybe
81.
Beaton has just come into a purple patch, and the back end of 2017 is going to be his year.
78.
Looks like his leg, this one. Come back looking at double 4.
See, what you're saying is he's like a wine. If you get the right year, it can be perfect.
Wow.
Like a Chateau Latour 72.
Steve, you require 8.
For all you wine lovers out there, I hope that was right. Double 4 is definitely right. It's 2-0 to Beaton.
The leg is John to throw
One thing
first.
he's never done, Dan, he's never won 2 PDC titles in the same season. So maybe that's the motivation.
Well, look, Steve
81.
Beaton has still got it. It never went away. It may not be so regular that we see
100.
the best from the Adonis. And I know he's got he's so frustrated with his performances at Ali Pali. He just doesn't seem to be able to perform well.
49.
And it really does annoy him. But if Beaton is motoring and playing well, he can beat everybody on these weekends. And he's done it before. And there's nothing to suggest that he couldn't go and, well, certainly beat John Henderson, seeing as he always beats John Henderson, going in previous history.
100.
Although Hendo digging deep to try and fight back here.
Got to think that John Henderson is very aware of his record with Steve Beaton as well. Dart players who have lost numerous games to the same guy, they know about it, trust me.
Yeah. Well, there's only Mensur Suljovic and Kirk Shepherd are the only players that Steve Beaton has better records against than Hendo. Mensur played 8, won 8. Kirk Shepherd played 7, won 7.
140. John, you require 91.
A lot of people on 315 would have gone for the bull first. 25, 60-60 leaves 170. But double top, Hendo. Good guide.
Game shot on the third leg. John Henderson.
He's in the game.
Four-legged Steve to throw first. Game on.
Steve Beaton has that valuable break though. And I noticed earlier on as well something that I find out the
59.
character for Steve Beaton, because if you look at him square on, he's perfectly symmetrical in every single way. He's perfect. And I never thought he'd be the kind of person to have 3 different coloured stems.
100.
He strikes me as a uniform kind of guy, not a red stem, black stem, blue stem kind of guy. But it seems to be working.
Aye. He's also, it was pointed out to me earlier on in his game against Martin Schindler earlier. He was doing this weird thing where he walks to the ocket and he was looking down every single visit. I'm not sure what that was about. He doesn't do that normally. I'm not just seeing if he's doing it here.
100.
No, it's just, I'm not sure. Maybe there was something distracting him in that Martin Schindler game. It was an impressive display from Beaton in that one. I mean, he averaged 99 to see off Schindler, 6'4". Wasn't quite as impressive as Hendo in the second round when he beat Ian White, the number 6 seed, when he averaged 104.
85.
Have you noticed, though, that these guys who are qualifying are starting to hit those levels, that 100-plus average, on a more regular basis now? They're putting themselves into contention to potentially get seeding places.
Well, I think we saw that yesterday when 9 seeded players go out of the tournament.
123.
More than half of the players knocked out of the tournament by qualifiers, a lot of them
106.
playing excellent stuff to do so. This is pretty excellent.
Double 18.
70.
And he was indecisive in his choice there. He was thinking 10 or a 6 or a 14, but he's not one to stop. Hendo, 3 for tops it will be. 1 in the middle, 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top. 2-2 and a massive break for Hendo.
Fifth leg is
it going to be his weekend, Dan Dawson?
Well, that is the question. Is it going to be a big Hendo weekendo? Because back-to-back checkouts of 91 and 93, both expertly taken out by the Highlander, has got him back in this game, because you have to say, John Henderson will be aware that he's never beaten Steve Beaton. Steve will not be beaten by John Henderson as a general rule. However, he's fought back from 2-0 down, where he must have been thinking, oh, it's happening again here. It's happening again. Beaton is doing me.
I've got to ask you, you're a fan of the new gimmick with
the dance?
The dance.
The Hendo dance?
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
We can start the new craze of Do the Hendo.
Yeah.
And we've had Do the Wongi,
yeah,
where he did the finger pointing on the Ali Pali stage, which is my personal favourite. Anybody out there who has a Do the certain dart player in a dance way, please let us know via Twitter.
137.
I want Hendo cam at the start of these Euro tours where everybody does the Hendo dance while the camera moves around the crowd.
We've had Devon.
Yeah.
140.
We've got the Dimitri Vandenberg. We haven't seen Dimitri this weekend. I don't think we're going to see him next week either. So we need dancers, and Hendo's filling the gap.
95.
Amply.
Stevie O'Guan, 127.
If anybody from Snapchat is listening to this, can you make a John Henderson filter, please? 17 for Steve Beaton. Now. Ooh, bullseye is missed. Hendo may look at the bullseye himself here. No. Conventional. Tops.
85.
Ooh, it is his favourite, but he can't find it this time. It would have been 3 very impressive checkouts in a row. But double 8 for Steve Beaton to edge back into the lead.
Game shot on the fifth
lovely
leg.
dart, 15 darter. Neat and tidy stuff this game.
Second leg, it's Steve to throw first. Game on.
Have a look at that dart at double 8 with a slow-mo. He got a lovely little kiss off the flight. It may have missed if it wasn't for that guide. But
100.
A vital break. John Henderson unable to hold throw after he gets his break. A great game so far.
Yeah, it's very impressive
97.
stuff.
I think the Hendo dance would make a very good boomerang. That's where you have a motion and it keeps going backwards and forwards.
Ah,
yes.
So the Hendo boomerang.
If somebody wants to knock up a GIF, I'm happy to see that. But look at the averages here. We've got
100.
Steve Beaton averaging just over 100. There we go. More than that. Almost 104. Henderson on 97. And this is
93.
glorious, isn't it?
I love that word. Glorious. It's so descriptive.
Fitting for these two fine gentlemen.
98.
Earlier on, Jacques Newlap was asking Steve Beaton about previous tournament
94.
victories in Holland. He's won the Dutch Open before.
Twice.
20-odd years ago, yeah. And he's also won in Newland before the European Tour started. But it was his first
42.
title in the PDC.
Stevie
And I was there
80.
that day, and he played brilliantly. Hard to believe that that was his first title. Double top.
Game shot on the
Oh,
sick leg.
everything was in the
Stevie.
corner.
Seven
But it
legs,
was
John
in the
to throw
segment
first.
that he needed.
Game on.
Unconventional, but effective.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that from Steve Beaton.
59.
3 of Beaton's 6 wins against John Henderson have come on the European Tour. In fact, they're all in 2013.
140.
Made a habit of beating John Henderson on the European Tour. So this is their first meeting on the Euro Tour since then. Look at that. I love that, isn't it? Neat and tidy stuff.
140.
I know some of those are breaks, so players will have had 16, 17, 18 darts in that leg without seeing it off, but still, it's a very impressive, isn't it?
135.
I'm just looking at that and saying that's very pretty. Because I remember a game between John Lowe and Phil Taylor where they showed the streak of legs.
26.
Everything was under 15 darts, and it was something like 10 legs they were showing on the front there. Everything 15 and under, make no mistake, world class.
100.
Everything you see that has been thrown to win a leg is 100 average and over.
Yeah. Very, very strong stuff from these two. But Steve Beaton is in the box seat
100.
here.
Stevie 126.
No need to go for the 19s here. Oh, look at this. Oh.
I thought he was going to go for bull there.
86.
That would have been a very, very glorious shot. 60 bull double 8. But he's got tops when he comes back. And Hendo is also going to have tops. So this has got to go.
Stevie 40.
Well, for another break of throw,
Game shot on the
and
seventh
Steve
leg.
Beaton
Steve Beaton.
is edging closer to the
Eight legs,
semi-finals
Steve
and a
throw
showdown with Peter Snakebite
Game
Wright.
on.
Throwing for a 6-2 win here and a 7th career victory over John Henderson.
That streak continues as well. That was a 13 dart leg. So everything, as far as
140.
winning legs are concerned, it's looking like everything's going to be under 15 darts. One of those games that we'll talk about for a while. Sensational stuff from Steve Beaton.
45.
I get the feeling with the fast pace of play that Steve Beaton has brought to this game, he's not
Nice.
stuffing at Hendo a little bit.
Yeah, it's not been the great display from John Henderson that we saw him put in against Ian
93.
White. He was pretty solid against Mike DeDecker this afternoon as well, averaging 95-ish. 93 is solid, but it's just not enough to
105.
live with Steve Beaton tonight, because this is a very special display from the Adonis. He started it with a 12-darter, and he may be about to finish it with a 12-darter.
100.
And a
Stevie Wonder,
spectacular
160.
160 finish. Oh, well, not to be. Oh,
40.
well,
Something's wrong. We have a problem.
just opens the door a little bit. Hendo has to walk through it, though. Down for the 19s.
99.
A straight
Stevie
ton would have
Wonder,
left a bogey number,
120.
so John Henderson does leave a finish, but Beaton, this is an easier one. Oh, a lot easier now. Tops.
100.
The streak has been broken.
John
That was for a 15-dart leg and the
164.
match. But Hendo is still in this match. He's still in this match with the bull.
Oh,
160.
John Henderson very nearly saving his skin with a fantastic 164 checkout, but double 10 for the Adonis,
Game
and it's
shot.
there.
Man of the
And
match,
Steve Beaton
Steve
once
Beaton.
again beats John Henderson. Hendo just cannot beat the bronzed Adonis.